This is Tony Lombardo, and got to get the center, don't I? Okay. This is Tony Lombardo with Volume 8 of Freddie Green Style Comping. And before I get on to Volume 8, let's remind ourselves what we've been doing, because it's been a while. About a year ago, I decided to try to refine my comping concepts by looking at it through the lens of the great Freddie Green's comping. I'm not trying to copy what he does. I couldn't if I wanted to, but I'm grabbing onto some of his ideas and finding ways to use them within the context of my comping. And I do this on electric tenor guitar, which I'm doing tonight, and sometimes I do it on electric six-string guitar. I didn't really know what I wanted to do until I noticed that in emails about this series, several people have asked me about up-tempo tunes. We've been doing kind of a medium swing thing, and that was just an accident, but that's what we've been doing. So let's think about that. What's going to be the big difference? Well, in the big ways, there aren't any differences. Everything we've done is going to be the same. The same swingy pulse with the pumping of the fingers, the same four strums to the bar. All that's going to stay the same. We're going to mute most of our strings and play on two strings. On six-string guitar, it'll be three strings, but on tenor guitar, it'll be two. There's going to be two differences. Number one, we're going to shorten our stroke a little bit. We can't, when we're playing a little bit slower, we can really make sure we hit all six, and that really helps what we're trying to do. But if we're playing quicker, we're going to have to shorten our stroke a little bit because those chords are coming fast and furious. It's like a tennis player, if he's receiving a serve from a server who hits a really fast serve, you got to shorten your backstroke or backswing a little bit and the swings have to be smaller. It just is, because those balls are coming fast and furious, and here the strokes are coming fast and furious. The beats are. So we're going to have to shorten our stroke. And the other thing is we're going to have to really take care of making sure that we're careful about our left-hand fingering, especially through an amp. Because when we start speeding up, the chances for little buzzes and scratches and squeaks goes way up. And it's not as big a problem with the acoustic instruments, but realistically in today's world, we're going to be electrified most of the time. Even in acoustic jazz settings, there's going to be an amp or a PA or something, microphone. So we're going to have to learn to pay a lot of care with our left hand. And as I say that, I wished I'd already picked a tune. I haven't. If I'd picked it, I could have practiced it and it would have been perfect. But we'll see what happens. Tune. Let's do Sweet Georgia Brown. That's a good one. You know that tune. It's got 16 bars, and it does those same 16 bars again, but the last 8 of them are different. The first 16 bars, it ends on a 5 chord. It ends on an A7. The first chord is going to be a D7. We're in the key of F. And the second time through, it's going to resolve to F. That one's going to use a lot of our 7-3-3-7 concepts, and if you don't remember what that is, just go back and watch all of the volumes that we did on tenor guitar. Of the first 7, I think 4 of them are on tenor guitar. I think that's right. I haven't gone back and looked at it. Those all deal with the 7-3-3-7, and about 80% of this tune is going to deal with the 7-3-3-7. So it's a perfect choice for us. I'm going to start with the D7, which is we're going to use our 7-3-3-7 shape at the 6th fret, 4 bars of that, and then 4 bars of G7, 1 fret back, and then 4 bars of C7, 1 fret back. Now we have a new chord. I'm going to have 3 bars of F major. I'm going to put the second finger on the C string, 5th fret, and the ring finger on the 5th fret G string. And then 1 bar of A7. That's the 5 of our D7. That's how we end the first 16. So to get to D7, we just go back a fret. 4 bars of that, and then 4 bars of G7. Now that's where the similarities between the two halves end. Because now we're going to do brand new bars. We're going to go D minor, A7, D minor, A7, F, E, E flat, D, G minor, G minor, C7, F. All right, let's talk about those last 8 bars. For the D minor, I'm probably going to play the first finger on that F note on the 4th string, 5th fret, and on the 7th fret, 3rd string, I'm either going to play my pinky or my ring finger. Either one is fine. It's kind of like the rock and roll shape, you know, the power chord. Some of those guys do it with the pinky, some of them do it with the ring finger. So that's going to be our D minor. Then we're going to do the same A7 we did in bar 16. Back to D minor, back to D7. We're going to use the same F we did in bar, what is that, 13, 14, and 15. Same shape. We're going to go back a fret with it. That's E. Back a fret with it, E flat. Back a fret with it, D. Now those should all be dominant chords. That should be F, E7, E flat 7, D7, but we only have 2 strings, and so your bass player is going to have to imply the dominance of those 3 chords. And then we're going to do G minor 7 and F. For the G minor 7, I think I'm going to play that same F note. I like the the continuity there of using that F note in a lot of different contexts. That gives a nice voice leading kind of thing going on. I'm going to play the 3rd finger on that F note. First finger is going to grab the 3rd string, 3rd fret, the B flat note. So that's the 7 and the 3 of the G minor 7. And then I'm going to get rid of that 3rd finger on the 5th fret and do the 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the C string. And that's going to give us our C7 right out of that 7-3-3-7 world. Now I'm going to grab the F way up here. I'm going to play the 9th fret, 4th string, and the 10th fret, 3rd string. And you're thinking, well, my God, why did you go way up there? You've got an F right at the 5th fret. Well, on a tune like this, where the ending is so final, I like to have my highest note of my chord, the root. I know Freddie Green does not do that on the records, but I do that. So it is what it is. So let's play it, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go. 2, 3, and there's D7. Doing that little swingy pulse. There's G7. There's C7. Here comes that tricky F chord. Here comes the A7. There's D7. Here comes G7. Now here we go with that D minor thing. F, E, E flat, D. And there it is. It wasn't as neat and tidy as I'd like to have been, but I just haven't practiced it. But to get the Freddie Green thing at a higher tempo, a little brighter tempo, you're gonna have to make 2 changes. You're gonna have to really be careful. You want to be, really careful with your left hand fingers. There was 2 spots where I was a little bit sloppy. You got to be close to the frets. You got to use the tips of your fingers, and you got to make sure you mute on those 1st, 2nd strings. At the faster tempo, there might be a temptation to be a little bit sloppy with our muting. We got to mute those strings the whole time. That's all got to happen, and we got to shorten that stroke with our right hand. That's going to be the big difference to get a good Freddie Green style comping feel at a brighter tempo. Make those 2 changes. All right, thanks, and I'll see you in Volume 9.